Back then, a used razor was not trash. It was parts. And every part had a second job if you took the time to look. Today, I slow down and do just that. Instead of throwing this old razor away, I take it apart and put it back to work in a way most people would never expect. No fancy tools, no store-bought gadgets, just a simple idea and a careful hand. The same way we used to do things. First, I take a utility knife and carefully cut away the plastic at the head of the old razor. Go slow and keep your fingers clear. Inside, you will find two thin steel blades. Set them aside neatly. These small pieces are exactly what we need for the next step. Now we prepare the handle. Take the razor handle and cut off the top so you are left with a straight, solid grip. Hold it firmly in your hand and check that it feels comfortable and balanced. Let me know your location in the comments. What state are you in and what projects are you working on at home? Next, use a hand drill and slowly drill straight through the center of the handle from end to end. Go slow and keep the drill steady so the hole stays centered. This step matters because a straight hole will make the handle strong, stable, and easy to use later. Now take the metal file and slide its tang into the hole you just drilled, in the handle. Make sure it goes in straight and feels snug. Hold it steady so it does not shift. Next, sprinkle a small amount of baking soda around the joint where the file meets the handle. Then, add a few drops of super glue right on top of the baking soda. You will see it harden almost immediately. Keep the file still for a few seconds so everything locks in place. This combination creates a very strong bond. When it sets, the handle feels solid, balanced, and ready for real work without any looseness. Now it is time to prepare the electrical wire. Take a length of cable that has two wires inside. One positive and one negative. Before doing anything else, make sure it is not plugged into anything. Lay it flat on the table so it does not twist. Use a utility knife and carefully strip back the outer insulation on both ends of the cable. Go slow and keep the blade shallow so you do not nick the wires inside. Once the inner wires are exposed, separate them gently with your fingers. Then, strip a short section of insulation off the end of each wire so the copper is clean and visible. Twist the copper strands tightly so they stay neat and easy to work with later. Now we move on to preparing the wire ends for a strong, reliable connection. Take a small strip of solder wire and wrap it neatly around the exposed copper at each wire end. Do this on all four ends so the solder sits tight against the copper strands. This step helps the heat spread evenly when you solder and keeps the wire from fraying later. Next, plug in the soldering iron and let it fully heat up. Touch the tip to the wrapped solder and the copper at the same time. Do not rush. Let the heat melt the solder slowly until it flows and coats the copper evenly. You want a smooth, shiny finish, not a rough lump. Once the solder has flowed through the strands, pull the iron away and let the joint cool on its own. Do not move it while it cools. Repeat this process on each wire end. Now it is time to connect the two steel blades to the wires. Take the two thin steel pieces you removed earlier and clean their ends so the surface is bare and shiny. This helps the solder bond properly. Lay each steel blade flat on the table and decide which wire will connect to which side. Keep them separated and organized so nothing touches by accident. Place one tinned wire end against the edge of the first steel blade. Hold it steady with pliers. Bring the soldering iron in and heat the joint slowly until the solder melts and flows between the wire and the steel. Now take two small wooden sticks or thin wood strips and place them between the blades. This spacer is important. It keeps the steel pieces from touching each other while you work, and later when the tool is used. Check everything carefully. The blades should be parallel, secure, and clearly separated. The wire should feel solid with no movement at the joints. This step needs patience and attention. A clean, solid connection here makes the whole tool safer and more reliable in the next steps. Now we move to the other end of the wire and install the two-prong plug. Make sure the plug is not connected to any outlet while you work. Take the plug apart and loosen the two terminal screws inside. Strip a short section of insulation from each wire so the copper is clean and visible. Place one wire under each terminal screw. Make sure the copper sits flat and does not stick out. Tighten the screws firmly so the wires cannot pull free. Give each wire a gentle tug to confirm it is secure. Then guide the cable into the strain relief and tighten it so the cord cannot move. Close the plug housing and tighten the screws. When you are done, the plug should feel solid, clean, and ready for controlled use. Now it is time to test heating the water. Place the two steel plates into a glass of water, keeping them separated and fully submerged. Set the cup on a stable surface and step back. Plug it in briefly and watch closely. Bubbles begin to rise, and the water starts to heat. Unplug it as soon as the water reaches a boil. Now go back to the handle with the file attached. By this time, the glue is fully hard, and the handle feels solid in your hand. Hold it comfortably and start sharpening the knife with steady, even strokes. You will notice right away that the grip feels stable and controlled, making the sharpening easier and more precise. Now it is time to check the result. Wipe the blade dry with a clean cloth so there is no moisture left. Take a fresh lemon and set it on the board. Place the knife on the skin and press lightly. The blade slides in clean and smooth, without crushing or tearing. Cut a few thin slices and watch how easy it feels. That clean cut tells you the edge is sharp again and ready for everyday use in the kitchen. Now look back at the cup of water. Small bubbles rise fast. Then the water reaches a full boil. That simple setup did its job. Steady and effective. If you enjoy practical ideas like this, tap like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still enjoys fixing things at home.